Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure if you appreciate the content to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, and make sure you click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. Guys, I hope you're having a good start to the week here. As you know, we went live unexpectedly yesterday evening because we were getting a lot of bullish momentum coming into the end of the day yesterday that really helped our weekly close and kick-started off October in a really positive way. We're going to take a look at some of the retracements that we're getting in the market right now and kind of have a conversation, just a level set, so that, as always, I think one of the best things I can do when I come out here and I'm going through the charts with you guys, I think one of the most value-added things I can do for you, especially those who are newer to the market, we can't get lost in this day-to-day chop. We really do need to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. And so that's what we're going to do today in a few of these charts. Now, did want to say I've had a very busy, very productive day. Did have some positive news. I created a P.O. box for myself. So now Crypto Bull God has his own post office box. So if you want to send me some merchandise, no, I have my own post office box now that I'm trying to get my content a little bit more official, so I'm out there. Yeah, but anyway, very busy day today. Very busy day. So I'm going to be very mindful of time today. I still have a lot of items that I need to get to after the live stream, and so we're going to keep today's live stream pretty quick. I may not have as much time to interact with you guys in the comments, and so I do apologize, but just the busyness of the day. I have a lot of stuff going on, so glad to see everyone here that's in the live stream. DJ as always. Kevin, by the way, I see you in the live stream. I did see DJ's comment referring to his child as it. I did notice that as well. Probably not the best thing. I have graced you with my presence. Kevin, just real quick on Caspa pullback zones. I wouldn't entertain any pullbacks on Caspa once we really start breaking out towards 5 cents. I'd be looking at those fib extensions that I've spoken to. And as far as pullback zones, I have spoken to pullback zones on my Caspa videos. Guys, you are welcome to check out. I have published videos out there from Caspa. They're very relevant. I have one that just was put out last week. Very relevant to the price action we see going on. I spell out all areas of price support. So if you're wondering for price zones, that's out there. Kevin, you're going to get your ass handed to you November 5th. It's a 4:15 game. I think that's actually in Dallas. Guys, let's get into the charts here. Again, I want to try to keep things moving along here pretty steadily. Now, you can see on the 12-hour here, there's some bearish volume coming in here. It's a very bearish candlestick. Now, it should be no surprise. I have been, come on. If you've been here on this live stream, you should know this. How much have I been talking about this $28,000 area, right? You can come up with whatever news narrative you want to come up with, but I literally just reiterated once again yesterday on the live stream the 28,000, right? Whether we're talking about 28 flat, 28, 2, 4, or 5, this whole $28,000 area is going to be a major area of resistance. It's no surprise here. We went up to 28,592 today, okay? We know that the top of the Gaussian channel is like right at that price area. So it's not surprising if we were to flip to the weekly, okay, on Bitcoin in the Gaussian channel, it's going to be difficult for us to get back out of the Gaussian channel because we entered it, right? We've got 200 simple moving averages, whether you look at the 12, daily, or weekly, that are directly above us. And because price action is below the moving average, it's going to act as resistance. So it's not shocking to see that we're facing some heavy resistance in that $28,000 area. Now, what would I like to see today on a daily close? Because this candlestick, if it were to close in this fashion, very bearish candlestick, very bearish candlestick. Now, keep in mind it's on a daily. We're going to flip to a weekly in a moment and kind of zoom out and keep a perspective in terms of the grander picture of what's going on. But on a daily basis, what do we want to see today? Simply put, We want the body of this red to be thinner by the time we close. Now, we still have 2 hours and 15 minutes until we close today. That's plenty of time to get a little bit of a reversal here. It'd be nice to start pushing up towards closer to $28,000. Even if we fall short and we close today at 27.8 or 27.9, I'd really like to close today closer to $28,000 because, again, we don't need to name the candlesticks. We don't need to look up in a glossary on Investopedia what the shape of this candlestick is. There's no need to do that. We can keep it stupid simple. Just look at the shape of the candlestick. We have a huge wick here and a medium-sized red body. It's a very bearish candlestick, right? So obviously what we would want is we'd want the size of that red candle body to decrease in size, okay? We'd want it to get a lot thinner. But let's keep perspective about what happened yesterday. Now, despite today's price action, none of the excitement that I shared on yesterday's live stream for me has diminished at all. And the reason for that is because I'm keeping perspective. When I zoom out on a weekly, and we talked about this candle body, not only is it a bullish engulfing candlestick, but it literally closed near the high of the entire week. This weekly candlestick is essentially there's very little price wicks. It's entirely just comprised of a green body. That is a very bullish candlestick. So it's not to say, maybe we get some volatility and we come all the way back down here to 26,500 and retest here. But I'm anticipating to get a solid candlestick follow through this week. Even if we close this week under the 200 simple moving average at 28,000, that's fine. Again, we're under that moving average, and that $28,000 area is going to cause us some problems. I'm just looking at the shape of the candlestick. What I would love to see for this month, the most bullish thing that you'd love to see is a close above the 200 simple moving average on the weekly. But ideally, all I'm looking for is for how this week closes, I want the size of the body of red here to be thinner, okay? It would be awesome if it turned green, but that's really just, keep it stupid simple for you guys. We don't need to overcomplicate things and look at 10 charts and I need you to keep 20 different things in mind. No. Just on the weekly for Bitcoin, I believe the number one thing that you want to watch for is how the weekly candlestick closes out. What is the shape of the candlestick? If it turns green, if we have a green week, that's as bullish as you could hope for, right? If it does turn into a red week, we just want the size of the red body here to be thin, very thin in shape. That's what I would look for. Just keep it stupid simple. Let's take a look at the total cryptocurrency market cap here. So this is everything. This isn't excluding Bitcoin or Ethereum or any altcoins. This is everything in the market. And you can see, and I'm telling you guys, I've been here long enough I can't tell you with certainty anything. It is just the sense, it is a feeling that I do get based on market sentiment, and it's also what I see in the charts, just the factual empirical data. We broke out of this huge falling wedge, this huge consolidation pattern, also what is known as an expanded flat correction, okay, where we get an A, B, and the B takes us a little bit higher than here, typically 5%, and then a C correction, okay? This is one of the most ugliest, nastiest, harshest corrections that you can see, okay? It really throws people for a loop. It threw me for a loop. Look what has happened since we bottomed, okay? Because we did bottom back here. We're not going to be going lower than the lows back here. When we bottomed back here, look what we've done when we broke descending resistance. All we've been doing is this. It's been neither negative nor positive. It's just been chip, chop, sideways, bullshit price action that really weeds people out who are impatient. And I really want to encourage you guys to remain patient. If you wrote out the entire correction that took place in here and you're still sitting here at this point, again, never financial advice, but I think you're going to make a piss poor decision you're going to kick yourself for if you decide to sell and get out of the market at this point. I think you're going to make a monumentally, horrendously bad decision by doing that. All we're doing is consolidating in this area right now, okay? You can see that we've been getting these lower highs coming in that we need to break out of, right? And ideally what I don't want to see, I'll tell you one thing I don't want to see, You can see we bottomed here and bottomed here. I really don't want the total crypto market cap to come back down to this 980 billion. Now, the reason for that is I've hit on it many times in prior videos. The more times we come back to support, especially once it precedes 3, it actually weakens the more we hit it, right? So if we came down here a third time, that would actually get me nervous, okay? And then a bounce. You definitely don't want to come down a fourth time, because if you come down a fourth time to that 980, 975 billion mark, higher likelihood it's going to break, right? So we do want to see a move up sooner rather than later to try to break out these lower highs. But again, just because we broke out of descending resistance, right? It was very bullish once we broke descending resistance here. But when we broke out here, it wasn't a ticket to the moon. It wasn't like we were just going to, it wasn't a guarantee. It was a possibility, but it certainly wasn't a guarantee that we were just going to begin to form these higher highs and higher lows, and by the end of the year be up at $3 trillion, right? Right now we're just consolidating. It's a lot of sideways action. There's a lot of indecision in the market, but again, I've pointed to way too many charts that leave me feeling confident regarding the higher perspective view, the macro perspective view, and where things are going. We just have to remain patient. Ethereum, now the reason you want to take a look at this chart here, now this is on a monthly close. This is the Ethereum BTC relativity chart. Once again, there's not a lot that has changed. This is a chart that we have been looking at literally for the entire year. We've been looking at it since last year. I've been doing this live stream since late March. So, wow, that puts me at late March, really. That's impossible, really. I started this live stream in late March. Holy shit. Okay, so I've been doing all in the charts for, did I really start this live stream? I'm catching myself right now. Did I start this March? Wow, I've been doing this live stream for 6 months. Holy shit. All right, caught myself. Yeah, so, I mean, this is something we've definitely been looking at for the past 6 months plus, right? And there have been a lot of people out there, some of whose opinions I respect, who have been calling for some massive drop in dominance. And again, my perspective is you have these higher lows here, and until this giant consolidation pattern is invalidated, it's just going to continue. So what would that actually mean for the Ethereum BTC relativity chart? Now, we could see a wick that goes lower, but in terms of candle bodies, what I'm talking about is from current price levels. What I'm saying is Ethereum could correct. You know, we could see upwards of a 20% outperformance by Bitcoin. Okay, that doesn't mean, what this means, a drop in 18% dominance of Ethereum relative to Bitcoin, it just means that Bitcoin would outperform Ethereum by 18% roughly, right? So meaning that's a mixture of moves to the upside and downside, right? To give you an example, Bitcoin could churn up higher by 18% over Ethereum. It could, another simple example would be we could see a correction and Ethereum could correct 18% harder relative to Bitcoin, okay? But it just means at worst for me. Now, again, you could see price wicks that go even lower and we could see 23 or 24 or 25%. But I completely anticipate based on this pattern that's present here that on a candle body closing basis, Ethereum is going to maintain relative strength to Bitcoin, and we're going to remain in this consolidation pattern. Again, I've been on record. I have a video out there, okay? I spoke about the flippening, okay? I wasn't talking about XRP. I do not think XRP is going to flip Bitcoin, no. I do believe that by next year, Ethereum is going to surprise a lot of people, and I do believe that Ethereum is going to temporarily flip Bitcoin. Now, again, in that video, if you caught that video I published a few weeks back when I spoke to this, I believe that flippening will occur maybe part of a day, a full day. It's not like Ethereum is going to flip. I don't see this happening next year where Ethereum flips Bitcoin and it's just going to maintain the #1 market dominance. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But I am talking about a temporarily, wow, I'm stuttering over my words today, a temporary flip in dominance where Ethereum, you would see it as #1, okay? And actually, let's talk about Ethereum before I talk about XRP. So the one thing I am noticing on a monthly closing basis that is not good for Ethereum at the moment, Stochastic RSI is so-so. We're oversold. Stochastic RSI is so-so. You can see we've got the downturn here. I'm not really overly concerned about it, though, because we're well above 20. It's 52 under the 66 here, 53 under 66 on stochastic RSI. Again, the trigger line's 20, so just because we're seeing a downturn here, I'm not concerned about it. What I am more focused on are two things on the monthly for Ethereum, and these are things you really want to make sure that you're paying attention to, right? I can be as bullish as I want and have a thesis going into next year, but we still need to keep an eye on the charts to make sure that everything is intact with the key charts to be keeping in mind. So in Ethereum, this MACD still hasn't crossed yet. We have not gotten a positive MACD cross on Ethereum's monthly. So I want to see that come in. But the other thing is, you'll see I noted here on a monthly candle closing basis, there's this 15 exponential moving average, which is the blue line. Typically, when we have seen candle body closes, now this is the beer virus, okay, a little bit of a fake out. But typically, once we see candle body close back above here, we see a monumental rise in price. We were above it here, a monumental rise in price. We got back above it here, but now we've dipped below it. So I really don't want to see a ton of deviation from this 15 exponential moving average on the monthly for Ethereum. The key level to keep an eye on for Ethereum is around 1800, right? So on a monthly, what we want to watch for, I'll give you something to watch for this month for Ethereum and also moving forward in November. We need a monthly close back above 1800. So right now, I mean, 1653 to 1800, you know, that is roughly, it's less than 10%. That's about 9%. Let me check my math. Now, I gotta check this, all right? I gotta check this. 1800 divided by 1653. Woo! I am an actuary. 8.9%, ladies and gentlemen. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's math. Ooh, there's a lot of good things that I'm good at. I don't know what that just meant. I'm good at math. But there are other things I'm good at. I don't know where this conversation's going. I had to get a little bit of humor in there. I'm way too serious. I've been staring at numbers all day, guys. You get those days. I've had a very long day. Not bad, not a bad day. Just a long day, and it's going to continue after the live stream. I have work, and trying to get some more stuff out on the YouTube channel, which is seemingly going to be a challenge this week. But yeah, so we've closed back below this 15 exponential moving average. So we really want to watch that $1,800 level to see once we can close about it. Now, my earlier comment was not a shot at XRP. You guys know that I've been a supporter of the project if you've been here for a while, for a long time. I'm just being what's called a realist, right? I don't believe in like the fairy tale land where there's unicorns and rainbows. We all know XRP has been an underperformer since it last topped way back in 2018, okay? So there's nothing in the chart that tells me that XRP is going to flip Bitcoin next year, okay? Could XRP flip Bitcoin 10 years from now? Sure, who the hell knows? That's too far out. But when we actually look at next year, there's nothing in this chart that tells me XRP is going to outperform Bitcoin. Excuse me, shouldn't say that. There's nothing in the chart that tells me XRP is going to flip Bitcoin. But what we can see right now on the monthly, here, a key moving average for XRP is the 21 exponential moving average. You can see we closed back above it here in July, and we've since gotten below it, although we're maintaining, what I do like to see is we're maintaining price right around the 21 exponential moving average. Now, in evaluating both charts, if I was evaluating XRP and Ethereum independently, I actually see more strength in XRP's chart than I do in Ethereum's chart at the moment. And I believe it's quite possible from current price levels and where I anticipate XRP reaching, I think it's very possible to see an 8 to 10x. I think an 8 to 10x at cycle high from current price levels is very realistic. And I think that based upon that fact, XRP may very well outpace overall from current price levels to cycle top, blow off top next year. XRP could outperform Ethereum. We'll have to keep an eye on it. But you can see the descending resistance I have painted out here in other areas of resistance. We're just consolidating right at the 21 exponential moving average. So, I'd love to get it back above here. And ultimately, I know a key level on this chart, just because I've charted this thing so many times. Major price level for me where I would love to get a monthly close above $1.20. If we got a candle body close above $1.20, I want you to note there has only been 2 times in history we've closed above $1.20. Back here in December of 2017 and back here in April of 2021. Keep this dollar figure in mind for XRP USD, $1.20. When you see a monthly close above $1.20, game on for XRP, in my opinion. Let's get to the comments here. I've been neglecting the comments just because I've been trying to get through the charts I feel I need to get through here to help you guys out. A gravestone doji, technically, Kevin, a gravestone doji would be, if we go back in the chart, a gravestone doji, which is a clear sign of a trend reversal to the downside, that would look more like, and I think you're referring to the daily, that would actually refer to something like this, where you get a huge wick and a really thin body like this. So this tells me clearly, clear sign. It's not definitive. Nothing is definitive in charting. All we're doing is interpreting the data to tell us what is most and least likely, right? And the more confluence you could get. So if I looked at this and it was very bearish and it said most likely a trend reversal to the downside, well, around this same point in time, if I could look at something else that said there's a higher probability for a trend reversal to the downside, now you have what's called more confluence in the charts, right? You never want to rely on one candlestick or one price indicator. You never want to do that. You want to ideally have multiple data points, as I call them, that have confluence. And when I say have confluence, you have multiple data points that are telling you the same thing, right? So this is a gravestone doji. Technically, I do not think the way this is printing right now is a gravestone doji, just because of the shape of the body of the candlestick. This is not a gravestone doji, but it is a bearish candlestick, right? Because we have a thick red body here and or excuse me, let's go back to the daily. This is bearish because we have a thick, now it's turning into a thick red body. There's that word thick again. Thick red body with a high wick here, right? So we just, again, keep it stupid simple. Whatever the name of the candle is, I could care less. It tells me a story. The most important thing, guys, in my opinion, from charting, I've been doing charting for 7 years now, 7.5 years. That's hard to believe. Wow. The years are flying by. The most important thing is to be able to name a candlestick. The most important thing, like, I don't need to know this is a bullish engulfing candlestick. I don't need to know that. What does it tell you? Can you read a chart and interpret what it is saying in layman's terms? Every chart has a story. Every candlestick has a story. The most important part isn't saying this is a shooting star, morning star, gravestone doji, hammer candle. I could care less what the names are. The more important thing is, what story does it tell you? What story does the candlestick tell you? Track, welcome in. Good to see you here. Juan, I'm glad you brought this up. We haven't looked at BTC dominance. Let's get into that right now. We haven't looked at BTC dominance in a while. I appreciate the feedback, Juan. You should comment more frequently. Are you new to the live stream? I have seen your name before, but I feel like you're at least newer, which I definitely appreciate you reaching out in the comments and chiming in to say, hey, let's take a look at dominance, because that's also an important factor. Now, this is something that we've spent a great deal of time in the past speaking about. And I said once we cleared, I forget where the area was, to be quite honest. I think I said once we cleared this area roughly at like 49 or 50%, somewhere around there. I basically targeted, I thought it was highly likely, and I still think it's highly likely, that ultimately, sorry, I'm shifting around here. Ultimately, this is our next area of price confluence. And because, let me properly explain this to you. Because we broke prior price confluence and we got above it, right? It was resistance. I think it was 49 or 50%. It's escaping me. But the point is, we broke up back above that 49, 50% area. And I said, okay, now that we've broken that, let's identify the most likely topping zone, because we're breaking out. And so it's very likely we're going to go significantly higher. And so the area I had targeted was anywhere between 53 to 58. Now you can see back here in June, we got all the way up to 52. So almost 53, but we didn't quite reach it, right? So I still think it is really quite possible that dominance is going to get up into this area here, okay? Right up in this 53 to 58 area. So what I would be looking for here is something like this, and then let me communicate to you the story of what would most likely be going on in Bitcoin if this were to occur, okay? As this was occurring, what does this actually mean? How do we interpret that? If the Bitcoin dominance is rising, what does it mean? It means two things in this case. One, Bitcoin is grabbing more share of the market. It's representing a greater percentage of the total cryptocurrency market. The other thing in this case, what it would mean, not all times, but in this scenario, what it would mean is, in my opinion, Bitcoin will be running a lot harder than alts. Okay, Bitcoin's going to make its huge move. Okay, it's going to be running really hard, right? And when it's done making that huge move, money is going to flow out of Bitcoin, and not even into Bitcoin. There'll be new money coming in, but a lot of money will be flowing out of Bitcoin, and it'll be going into altcoins. So the dominance will fade in Bitcoin, and altcoins will begin to outperform Bitcoin, right? So a drop in dominance, like if we see a drop in dominance like this, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin USD is going down in value necessarily. It could be chipping and chopping around, 1% here, 2% here, whatever. But what it means, no. In this case, what it means is altcoins are going up at a very high rate, and Bitcoin is just it's doing its thing. It's kind of consolidating, maybe going up a little bit, right? That's what that means. So that's what I'm anticipating in the chart. Yeah, and I also identified the other thing, and I'm glad you brought this up again because we haven't spoken about this in a while. I also identified, this is on the weekly, I had also identified a topping area on the RSI. And you can actually see back here, we did hit this topping area, okay? So it'll be interesting to see, and you can see this from the past. These are key areas, okay? If we go up to the price, you'll see key areas here. When we've hit this area, you can see downturn, eventual downturn, and eventual downturn. That took a while. But it's really between 72.5 and 77.5, okay? That's another thing I'm going to be looking for on this chart. And it'll be a good time. This will be an interesting chart to pay a lot more attention to once we get into the end of this year to see how it's looking. Really let this develop for the next 3 months or so. Maybe ETH has had a daily bearish engulfing, but Kevin, the thing I'd encourage you, unless you're day trading it, and again, I do updates on the daily chart and the 12-hour chart because there is significant stuff on there for the Bitcoin chart, but I would encourage you, unless you're more swing trading or day trading, to not even focus on the daily on Ethereum. I'd focus on the weekly and the monthly and even the 2-week chart. We can real quick take a look at the daily to validate what you're saying though. So right now, absolutely, this is a bearish engulfing candle if we close here. So the reason this is a bearish engulfing candle on the daily for Ethereum could turn into a double, even a triple, like Kevin is pointing out here. You'll see, was that Kevin? Yeah, it was Kevin, okay. You'll see the body of the red is eclipsing the body of the green here, even here and even here. So definitely not the most bullish thing. But again, that's why when you see this price action coming in, major rejection, right? Two things to keep in mind when you're seeing this price action. So excited last night, right? For very good reasons. So excited last night, live streamed unexpectedly, had a lot of good bullish momentum come in. Now we come here today, and if you're not focused on the right things, you'll miss it. You look at the price action today and you're like, ugh, we're just gonna roll over. Not so fast. Not so fast. That's why I'm trying two things. One, $28,000 area we knew would be a major area of resistance because we spent so much time talking about it. But two, I'm trying to get you guys to zoom out and look at higher time frames so that you don't lose sight of the fact that we have 6 days to go to print this candlestick, and this prior weekly candlestick was very, very bullish. So we really need to be patient with the price action coming in this week. Josh, let's fucking go. Realist equals hater. Why did I call myself Crypto Bull God? So let me just say this. I mean, hopefully you can tell by the content by now. I'm not a moon boy. If you guys, again, in my professional life, I'm an actuary. You can look up what an actuary is, but by nature, I'm a conservative individual. Okay. So the way I came up, I don't mind sharing with you the way I came up with the name. So the way I came up with, also I tweeted out today, don't know if you guys are following me on Twitter, but it came up on an earlier call today that I was on, but somebody referred to me and said, oh, you're an influencer. And I said to them, I actually don't like the word influencer. I do not consider myself an influencer. And nothing against anyone who considers himself an influencer. I don't like the term. I don't like that. I do not consider myself an influencer. I consider myself an educator. I put this content together to create educational content so that people can... there's really two things that at the end of the day I want you guys to walk away with when you leave the channel. One, you're understanding currently what's going on in the markets. Okay, you have a good idea about the key charts you should look at, where you should be focused and what's going on. And two, you're learning something. If you're not learning anything, then I'm not doing a good job, right? So I'm an educator. Now, the way I came up with the name Crypto Bull God was actually, I had a different name on Twitter. Didn't even know I was going to do YouTube content. That was something that just happened, okay? Never envisioned myself doing YouTube. But I had a rather bland name on Twitter, and I was like, I want to create something that's like stands out, And I don't know if you guys grew up with Kid Rock, okay? So there's this Kid Rock song called Bull God. And I don't know if I was listening to the song. I don't know what it was. But the name, I was like, I like that. I'm a bull. I'm a bull on the market. Bull God, Crypto Bull God. It sounds like pretty fucking epic. So that's how I came up with the name. And then every now and then I try to go in true persona when the market calls for it. Of course, the market hasn't called for it lately. So I have some shit out there that's a little out there on my channel that I haven't done in a while. But yeah, that's how I came up with the name. Other charts. I'm trying to think. I'm looking to sign off here shortly, actually. Like I said, I wanted to make this a really quick live stream. Anything else? ApeCoin down at $1.17. Remember all that hype around ApeCoin? DXY still chugging higher. We talked about the fact that it could get as high as 108. And it looks like, look, I called for a topping zone on DXY at 105, 106. Clearly incorrect, and it's gone a little bit higher. Frankie, I have not seen you on this live stream in a while, my friend. What's up, man? Good to see you here. I haven't seen you in a long time. Glad you popped in the comments. Casp is looking like a... what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Casp is looking like a... Guys, it's been a long day. I'm completely losing my train of thought. Caspa's chart looks awesome. I was going to make a joke, and I can't even... My brain is fried today. Caspa is a hero within my portfolio at the moment. So what I wanted to talk about on the DXY is clearly we're going higher than I had anticipated. And they said 105, 106. It doesn't... I spent so much time talking about the dollar. It doesn't change my view at all. In terms of us still topping somewhere up here in this 108. I know Tony, the BTC bull, put out some, I think it was a fib retracement level. I forget how he came up with it. But basically, he came up with a target of 109. So who knows? Maybe we go up to 108 or 109. I think the main thing to take away from the dollar index is you have to really ask yourself this question. Are we going to do this? right, and just continue going higher? Or, I mean, look at how many green weeks we've had, guys. This is a little ridiculous. Or are we going to do something like this and fall hard? I'm in this camp, okay? Just because we've gone a little bit higher, I really want you to realize this. I said 105 to 106 topping zone for the DXY, okay? And let's just say we hit 108. If I hit 108 divided by 106, we've gone 1.9% higher than I thought. Whoop-de-fucking-do, right? Grand picture, we already entered our parabola and we're in a corrective structure. That's the main thing to stay focused on. Somebody else said something. DJ's going to set up his new robot vacuum and mop after this. Nice. Artificial intelligence at its finest. Guys, I'm going to sign out. I have a lot of things that I need to get to. Like I said, I just wanted to pop in, kind of update you on a few charts. Most important thing you can walk away with is don't forget to zoom out here. Because, again, this is a lot of bearish price action coming in today. But this is on the daily. After a monumental rise in price. Look, we got our breakout, okay? We got our breakout on the daily, okay? Right here in the blue circle. And we got the second candlestick coming in as confirmation of a breakout. I do not see us just rolling over and coming back down here. Could we come as low as to down to this area? Look, I've spoken to this real quick before we hop off here. I've spoken about this. When you break a descending area of resistance, don't be surprised if we come all the way down to this area. There's also the 50 simple moving average all the way down here. Don't be surprised if we come all the way down to 26,500. The question is, do we start to get candle body closes below the 50 simple moving average and re-enter descending resistance on the daily? I do not see that happening. And the other question you have to ask yourself, more importantly on the macro perspective, how does the weekly look? Okay, don't lose that perspective. So we're getting that volatility. Don't get lost in the day-to-day. Frankie, take care of yourself. Everybody take care of yourself. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully tomorrow's live stream will be a little bit longer. We'll get to some of your TA questions tomorrow. And until next time, everybody, let's all spread awareness and let's carry the education forward. And as DJ says, let's keep stacking because that's all I'm doing. Fiat to crypto, fiat to crypto. Take care, everybody.